You're eating clean, cooking at home, and avoiding junk. Yet, despite all that effort, the scale refuses to budge. You might be trapped by the health halo. It's a psychological effect where we assume that because a food is healthy, our bodies can handle it in unlimited amounts. This 1970s beach represents a different metabolic era. People weren't obsessed with superfoods or complex diets, yet obesity rates were a fraction of today's. Our genetics haven't shifted in 50 years. What has changed is the industrialization of our pantry staples, transforming whole ingredients into high-speed delivery systems for sugar and refined starch. Today, we're investigating 5 specific healthy foods that act as stealth bombers to your metabolism, disrupting your progress from the inside out. The very foods you rely on to stay lean are often the ones using physiological loopholes to keep your body in a persistent state of fat storage. The liquid sugar bypass is the first mechanism. It happens every time you drink a morning smoothie or a fresh-pressed juice. Drinking your calories bypasses chewing, which is the necessary physical signal that tells your brain to begin the process of feeling full. When you pulverize the fiber, your digestive system is instantly hit with the sugar payload of 4 or 5 whole fruits all at once. This graph shows the result: a violent blood sugar spike that triggers a flood of insulin, the specific hormone that instructs your cells to store energy as fat. Once the insulin clears that sugar, your levels crash. This drop sends a false starvation signal to your brain, making you feel ravenous just an hour after your healthy breakfast. By liquefying these fruits, you've created a concentrated dose of sugar that forces your body to store fat without ever satisfying your hunger. This same metabolic pressure comes from solid diet foods, most notably sushi and fat-free flavored yogurts. Industrial processing aggressively strips the fiber and nutrients away from whole grains, leaving behind a highly refined starch that the body can disassemble almost instantly. This is a starch molecule, found in sushi rice. It is simply a long, tightly packed chain of sugar. The moment that rice hits your stomach, those links snap. Your body dumps pure glucose into your bloodstream faster than a standard candy bar. It's the same story with flavored yogurt. When manufacturers remove the natural fat, they replace it with massive amounts of added sugar to maintain the taste. Regularly eating refined starches and sweetened dairy keeps your insulin levels elevated, keeping your body's metabolism focused on storing fat rather than burning it. The final loophole is portion distortion. This is driven by calorie-dense foods like granola, nuts, and avocados. Your stomach signals fullness through stretch receptors. They respond to the physical volume of the food, not the calories. Calorie-dense foods occupy very little space. You can drop hundreds of calories of granola into your stomach, and these stretch receptors will remain unlit. A single satisfying cereal bowl of granola is often 4 or 5 standard servings. That's upwards of 600 calories of hidden oils and syrups that your stomach barely registers as a meal. While the fats in avocados and nuts are nutritious, treating them as unlimited foods creates a massive caloric surplus that your body has no choice but to store. By the time your stretch receptors finally signal that you're full from these dense foods, you may have already consumed half of your entire day's caloric needs. None of these 5 foods are inherently bad. They contain the fiber, healthy fats, and vitamins your body needs to function. The struggle comes from a food environment that masks the caloric density and insulin impact of these items, leading us to eat them in ways our biology didn't intend. You can navigate this by eating fruit in its whole form, measuring your granola, and opting for plain yogurt that you sweeten with whole berries. Your past struggles weren't a lack of willpower. They were the result of a food landscape that didn't match how your body processes energy. Now that you understand the mechanics, you can finally make the scale move.